interesting to see what's going on. And I'm not talking about the recent political stuff with it. I mean, most of your celebrities, most of your artists, most of your local folks that are influencers and do big things within the community and what they do, they're on social media and they're on Twitter.
And as you said, it is a fast site, and it does take a little bit of time to learn that site as well. And
it moves quick.
And one of the things you can do if you want to just really start following influencers, you can go on Twitter and start following people that are, you look up to, that you respect within your industry. You don't even need to start posting, but you can start gathering information from them as well. That's a great.
Exactly. Do your research, do your homework, find out what's happening. Who are the people that are in your business, in your concentration, your focus? What are they doing? How many times a day are they posting? All sites on that. And just do your homework. Keep studying.
And, you're so spot on that. And with LinkedIn, this is where you have to understand the tonality of the site, because it is so different from Facebook. It's mostly business to business, and what you're doing on this site is establishing your expertise, and you really want to do some really great networking with individuals that you meet there on LinkedIn. Things that you can post on LinkedIn is, things about your business, about, what your products and services, not selling them, but just sharing maybe some testimonials or videos, even maybe some white papers or a link to a video series or an audio or something along that line that people can then gain more knowledge from what you offer. Again, you don't want to be posting probably just 3 times a week is all you really need to be posting on LinkedIn, but you do need to make sure you're constantly monitoring them when we say this. So,
yeah, and monitoring means looking for people that are commenting back to you so you can address them and let people know that you are attentive and proactive.
Mm-hmm. And your Instagram and Pinterest are pretty much very similar. What you're posting on Pinterest and Instagram are videos and images. Instagram maybe 3 times a day, they say, a lot of hashtags being used on Instagram. We talked about that on our hashtag show a couple of weeks ago, so definitely go into our podcast there on talknetworkradio.com and click on So Social Radio Show, and you can pull up the show we did on hashtags. We talked a lot about that, especially on Instagram. And, of course, Pinterest is, they're saying 5 times a week, because, but I know myself when I get on Pinterest, I tend to do a lot of pinning at one time. So, again, I'm building my boards. It's a virtual bulletin board is what Pinterest is.
Yeah, but that's another one of those sites like Twitter. It moves so fast. I mean, you can do it and walk back to get a drink of water, a cup of coffee, or a soda, and you can't find where you were.
And what's the most important thing, Richard, on Pinterest? Increasing
links back to your website.
Getting more visibility.
Increasing the visibility. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so, great for search engine optimization.
Everybody that comes back from it it's amazing on that. And they will click.
And then there's YouTube.
Another Google-owned property. And the interesting thing about YouTube, wow, YouTube is the fact that not only can you do amazing video productions up on YouTube, but after your YouTube is finished and run for the first time, Google indexes it. It converts your audio to text.
Wow.
Where it can now be searched independently. So it's really important to know your keywords for your industry and what resonates. So, all of these things connect together at some point in time.
Oh, they do. And the action step that you need to really take away from this is that you need to take time. Take time to learn the social media platforms so that you really understand the kind of content, which kind of content, I should say, performs best on each of these sites. As we said, each site has its own tonality, so remember that. And when we're talking about these sites, and we've mentioned it a couple times, is another mistake people make is they don't know who their target audience is. And you have to know your target audience if you want to have success on social media.
It's more than that. I mean, it's super critical on it. But if you've done any networking at all, you do have a hand up on what's there. You get to know some people. And once you know some people, then you can develop your own persona, your own personality, your own tonality to attract those people to you on any of your social sites. If it's video, you got to be true to yourself. If it's writing, you got to be true to yourself. It all happens together in one facet. Again, it takes time. And most of us, especially me, are impatient. We want it yesterday.
Well, what are some tips that someone can really use to determine who their ideal client is?
Well, the first tip is I would start with analyzing your posts that you've already got up there. Okay? See who is commenting on them, who's reacting. And then, you can find out who they are and go back and look at their pages, their profiles in that. You can do the same thing across the board. There are analytics with every one of these sites. So always look from a macro standpoint. When you make a post, when you make a video, when you do a pin, look at what it says. How many people were attracted to it? Okay? Mm-hmm. How many links did you get back to your website? Your website's a closing page. That's what your website's there for. Everything else, we can kind of look at it as search engine optimization. It's getting your name out there in front of people where people will click to come back. SEO is great.
Which is search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm. But it's useless if you can't get a click on it. You can be number one. Okay,
yeah.
But if they won't click on what you're saying, you can use all these guru type things up there to get to the top. But if nobody's clicking on it, it's a waste. So you have to know your audience and what they want.
Yeah, and so what I'm hearing is that the action step you need to take is to really determine who your consumer or client is by, determining what your product or service serves, so who your product or service serves.
Absolutely.
So you need to know exactly what your product or service, what problems or challenges it solves.
Exactly. Let me go back to a grocery store example. In the area where we live, we have a nice medium high-end company that does groceries called Publix. Okay? At the other end of the spectrum, we have another well-respected company and everything, and it's called Walmart. They have great food, a lot of it the same on that. But it's two different clientele bases that go in there. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes we all go into each one of them, okay? But for the most part, their business comes from a set base of people. And you have to look at that analogy and say, okay, I have my set base of people that Richard is going to attract. Cheri has her own, and you have your own in the audience. And you've got to know these folks. It's your life and death on internet, on social media, is determined on you being able to express what you have to say to the people that appreciate your tonality and want to hear what you say. Now, that doesn't happen overnight because not everybody hear you every day, every moment, every second. So you have to be persistent and consistent in what you're doing.
So much so. So in order to make sure you are definitely reaching those that you want to attract, you have to be so clear in who you serve so that you can serve more of those.
Absolutely. Do not, under any circumstance, regardless of the site, ignore your tribe, your people. Do not do it.
That's another big mistake I see and I hear is ignoring your followers, your connections, your fans. Yeah.
Yeah. We all know what a funnel looks like. We've all used a funnel at some time around the house or put gas in the lawnmower through a funnel or whatever, okay?
Mm-hmm. It's that cone shape, yes.
Yeah, on that. So we're so used to having this great big audience above us, a water that you're going to try to measure through a funnel to get into a bottle or something around the house.
So the big swirl here and trying to take it and throw it down that little hole.
Down. That's what we're used to. Okay, and marketing is not that way anymore.
It is flipped.
Unfortunately. It's still a great system for some people, but now we have a few people, due to social media, we have a few people that are going through the narrow end of the funnel.
Our tribe, our people that like us.
and now as they come through, they have this total expanse of social media to get to know us with.
So you're saying that funnel, which is the cone, has flipped.
Absolutely so. It's upside down. The narrow end's at top now.
Yeah.
You're pulling them through one at a time.
You have all these people that, we want to reach. And all it takes is us having a few people that really trust us and that we built relationships with to help us to expand that reach. And that is what makes social media so powerful. So we have to make sure that we're not ignoring that audience, that loyal followers and fans, because they're the ones that are going to help us by sharing, by communicating with us. So when we say don't make the mistake of ignoring them, what we're saying is the action step you need to take is to start responding to everyone that starts engaging with you, and you focus on building relationships, not selling to them. Because those relationships that you build are the one they're going to start now sharing your message for you. That's powerful.
No, that's when you have that team, that pack of supporters that go out and support you. But really, it's not just a one-on-one situation. It's really a tribe. And if the tribe gets together, everybody supports everybody else within the tribe.
Definitely. Most definitely.
So, Cheri, you bring somebody to me. I bring somebody to Jeff. Jeff brings somebody somewhere else. And you put it all together that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I hear so many people say, I'm on social media because I really want to make money, by growing my business and making money. And I see all these companies that are being successful, or at least saying they're successful, because of social media. And trust me, there are a number of them. We've had some great success in what we've done over the years, or we wouldn't be doing it,
Absolutely.
But it's constant. You can't just do one thing and then forget about it. You have to continue understanding or staying consistently on these platforms and consistently tweaking your message, tweaking your plan, your purpose, everything, because it's going to be changing, because these sites are changing. They're always evolving. And that's why I like to say what I do for my clients is I help you navigate through that ever evolving maze of social media. This is what we need to stay focused on. And we need to understand that, yes, there are people that are successful, but on that flip side, so many are struggling. And it all starts because you're not connecting with your target audience online. And you have to do that before you can communicate. Connecting is what presents the possibility. Communicating is what opens up the opportunities.
Absolutely so. And, I want to get back to what you were saying there for just a second. When you're talking about attracting people and keeping everything new and fresh, you look at the automobile industry. Every year they come out with new models, new shapes, new colors, and we're right in the middle of every automotive company out there is selling on TV right now, and radio, and all these type of things. So we have to do the same thing. We have to refresh ourselves, just like the major brands out there, not just the automobile industry. We're coming up on the holiday season. Guess what's going to be happening here with the clothes and all that stuff there, the holiday gifts. Right after Labor Day, September 2nd or 3rd, whenever it is, boom, it's solid for the next 4 months,
That's
guys.
right. In fact,
you got to be in that mix.
Starting next month, we start focusing on holiday marketing. Yes, it's September, but we have a lot of holidays coming up beginning in October all the way through into January. So what we want to make sure we understand is that, again, another mistake we see so many take is that people just rely on using these platforms for free. We have to understand that, as we said, social media has evolved. And we take Facebook, for instance. When we first got on a number of years ago and we were using it, we had fast success. because not everybody was using it. And we're talking back in, around 2009. And